Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. I'm a psychic medium and I do a lot of mystical things on this channel. I'm also a belly dance teacher. That's why I'm a dancing oracle. But today, I want to read a viewer comment, and it's something that everyone goes through at some point. And it broke my heart to read this viewer's comment on the Jeff Mara show when watching my show, where I talk about connecting to my guides and angels and how important it is to connect to your guides. And at American Cosmic wrote in, I feel like every time I ever tried to talk to my spirit guides, I get nothing in response. Never once felt their presence, but I wish this wasn't so. I wish I had them to comfort me in my darkest hours. Wow, I could just feel the weight of that. I have been there. Even though I am connected and I'm a psychic medium, I have felt like you. And I want to talk about that and why you're not feeling the connection. Um, Let me just see what I wrote uh, to them because I know I wrote back. Wow, a lot of people wrote in. A lot of people responded to this person because, of course, they felt so badly. And by the way, American Cosmic wrote back to some of the people trying to help this person. And they say, when I wake up in the morning, whatever, it's gone within a few minutes, meaning their dreams. They've heard of dream journaling and wanting to give it a shot. Yeah, that's really important, but there is a deeper issue. And there is a deeper issue why this happens. And I want to talk to you about it. So the guides and angels and loved ones on the other side, anybody that would be a high vibration spirit guide, someone that is um, of a higher level, because there's so many levels of beings on the other side, and you want light beings. You want the light beings because there's everything on the other side, and you want your guides. Okay, so they're a high vibration, and it's very difficult for them to lower themselves to the density and the harshness and the sorrow of this world because they're made of light, of wisdom, and they're from a whole different space. They're not dragged down. So you have to realize, it's like oil and vinegar kind of thing. It's kind of like that. And when you're at your darkest hour, and I have been there, and I have called out to my guides and got nothing, nothing. And I know I have experienced a lot of connection when I was young, fully connected, communicating a lot, needing that. And then what happens is because you have to function in society, you end up kind of building walls around yourself and tuning a lot of that out. And the other thing is, as you grow, as you grow, as you experience life, which is full of challenges, it drags you down. It literally drags your spirits down. And then you're down and needing help. But you need a higher vibration to reach and hear your guides and sense them and get those dreams and visions and wisdom from them to to be tuned on the inner. And you're already asking for help. You're giving them permission. That's the other key ingredient to ask for help, because they can't interfere without an invitation. You have free will, and they need your permission. You're already doing that. So great. You're already doing that. So when I notice my guides coming in, besides those moments of complete stillness and surrender, they also come in at a moment when I'm in a state of gratitude. Now, that's going to sound crazy when you are feeling your worst. You're in the dark night of the soul. How are you, and you're just feeling your pain, your sadness. You you're feeling lost. And when you're feeling sad, lost, left out in the cold, you keep thinking, where are they? Where are they? I need guidance. I need guidance. Please give me guidance. I have no guidance. Where are you? You're not coming in. Where are you? Please, God, give me a sign. I'm not giving any signs. When you're in that low state and acknowledging you're not getting a sign, the universe is saying you're not getting a sign, because the universe will mirror your inner landscape. It will match, and it will match your vibration. This is the thing. So first off, we have an inner landscape that we create through our thoughts, our emotions, our passions. Anything that we create within us gets played out in the three-dimensional world that we live in. We attract, and we get to play that out based on what we are vibrating on the inside. So if you're vibrating, and this was my story, I'm not saying it's you, Cosmic, I'm just saying there was a long period of my life where a lot of bad things, tragic things happened to me, and I got into victim mentality, feeling like a victim all the time. And I was getting kind of cold and bitter, about life. And I was young. This is happening to me as a young woman. And I felt like, wow, I got to turn this around. And I started to think about all the things I was grateful for. I had a lot to be grateful for, even in my sorrow. And that's when the guides come in. As you heard my story on the train, Jeff, Jeff, he had asked Najia, what kind of state of mind were you in when you had this vision of all this sorrow and then life turning around? He goes, were you in a really sad state? I go, no, I wasn't down at all. I was the opposite. I had a really great day at work. I had a really good job at the time, freelance job, but I was working there a lot. I loved it. I was making good money and able to feed homeless people and treat them to lunch and stuff. And I had done that earlier, and I went to the Hallmark store and bought some things for my niece, and I was going to go do the Christmas tree. So everything was great, right? I knew like I was just so happy that I'm working a nice job that's creative and I'm making good money. I'm going to see my little niece. I'm going to see my parents. It's Christmas time. And all I could think about was how happy I am and grateful for this precious little girl and what we were going to do together that night. And just I was so counting my blessings. So in that state of counting the blessings, I'm vibing really high, right? And I ascended to this really high space, and my brain expanded, and my guides could really reach me and give me this vision of what was coming down the line. Not to give up hope, because as I talked about that story, some really bad stuff was coming in soon that night, the worst, tragic. So they were able to reach me, and there were, other times when the guides came in strong, like I talk about when 2019, November 2019, and what happened. That, and then later I was talking about how I adjusted to that, and I got new work, adjusting and saying, my old life wasn't working, and I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for so much. I'm grateful for all the gardens I started and time to go hiking and restructure my life. I was expressing all this gratitude. And then the guides came in really strong with every kind of vision and clairaudience about this message I delivered to all of Jeff's viewers about what's coming down the line, and not to be afraid, but to know, like, we have help. We have help, and they're preparing us, like, in different ways. So pay attention to your intuition. So that gratitude brings you up. There's always to this higher level. There's always something to be grateful for. And you need that to reach your guides, and to hear them, because they can only function on certain levels. And they want to pull you up out of the worst of it when you're really down. But it's just like they can't reach you because you haven't brought yourself up to them. And there is a way I just want to say, there is a way when you're that down and you've hit the lowest low, right? You've hit the lowest low, and you stop your stories in your head about your bad life and feeling left out and not having that connection, or not having what you want, in life. Why is this so hard, or whatever? And then when you stop those stories and you just surrender and you become really quiet, you just like, I give up. I just give up. And you open yourself up because you've taken all those negative thoughts out of your mind. You have completely surrendered them. And when you surrender them, then the guides can come in and help you. Um, I hope you get to see this video. I'm going to write in the comment that I made this for you. And for everybody else, there's so many of you out there. I know you have experienced this. And me, I spent years experiencing that. Many years. Been there, been there. So I hope I've helped you. All right. Take care. Bye. Hit the like button if you want more of this. All right. So I know what type of content you like. All right.